This is just a video about Milan Kučan. Milan Kučan issued video, one of his videos about Milan Kučan. Milan Kučan,
bilo должно.
I estimated, based also on this interview, because the same thing repeated. He repeated the same thing. Whenever his little brain would manage to, whenever his little brain would manage enough philosophy so that he would feel comfortable in front of the camera, I did estimate him, and this is because he wasn't happy with my explanation to him that he's not, I don't know what. I told him, you know, your IQ, your intelligent quotient, by the way, it's not I don't know what. I told him, you're not, you have degrees, you have all this prestige and everything you have. You have a degree. He does have degree. But I told him, you know, he said, me not, but my daughter. I thought, no. I told him, no. I told him, you know, you're not, I don't know what, you know, and he could not understand. And there was no way to explain him this. So I'm going to take time to explain so that you will understand that I considered him also with a mental deficiency. He did not have a capacity to, as a politician, to make a difference. His difference, the way he was making a difference, was in his circle of philosophers, drunks, psychiatrists, police, the apparatchiks from those that affiliated themselves to the World War II. That was like his main thing. That's what his entire political career was based upon. And the people whom he have lied to, here I think on foreign politicians, foreign people that he dealt with through this case. This was his core thing anyhow. This case existed literally for Milan Kučan. Just like the interview that you see right there, you know. He would gather either the opposition, Kacin or Janša or whoever he would get, response, something that he could get through the Slovenian justice system, through the Slovenian courts, so that he would get like epilogue. That's what he searched for. To afterwards pose just something so the journalists, the so-called journalists, would have something to write about in their media, in their Slovenian media. He would afterwards meet with his garbagers, like you can see here in this video. They are asking him a question, and I'm not going to say these are controlled journalists. These are no fucking journalists. I mean, these are no journalists. They stopped by, they met me afterwards, and so on and so forth. But none of these people ever did anything about this. I remained in the shadow of the man that you see right there on the right side. He was very encouraging. Now, the lady that you see in the background was actually very supporting toward Milan Kučan. Mainly was Milan Kučan that talked to Milan Kučan, basically. And that's how he presented when, you know, he would make his diarrhea out of every here and there, wherever his IQ would produce, that he would glorify himself in front of society, tell society something important, therefore appear to the society. If you would ask him, if you confront him with this stuff, which I did, his answer was, they do it too, basically, pointing out that British royals, at whatever, from the West politicians, they do it the same thing. They do it the same way. American politics, they do the same thing. Maybe they really do the same thing, but I still consider his IQ to be incredibly low. This is incredibly primitive, violent, little guy, a little individual, but extremely, extremely violent individual. Now that's one thing I do admit. And for this video, which came to life 8 years ago, Novo Mesto police investigators also were involved in it, with a psychiatrist cops insisted me, you're gonna read the comments right here below the video. And when you go below the video, it's not even difficult to prove to what I stated to you. These videos, by the way, they make them appear. They simply make them appear based on my IP service provider, internet service provider address, and they make them appear based on my YouTube accounts, or I should say my profiles, YouTube profiles, Google Blogger profiles. And so what you can read here is from 8 years ago. They remind me of his daughter, whom he glorifies as working at United Nations. This is the video about the IQ. And he came up with this video then to have journalists afterwards talk to me about, I did not notice anything, the lady behind right there, whoever her name is. I don't know, there's nothing wrong with him because he insisted that Milan Kucan is mentally retarded. Anybody that is tortured, and I think that's actually a really, really glorious, I would even say plemenito. I don't know how you say plemenit. Plemenito would be notable, glorious, I would say, way. If you ever get tortured, for you to insult the people who torture you, kudos to you. I put my head down in front of you if you can do that. If you can insult them, if you can spit into them, if you can undermine them in every way, every fucking way you can do this, kudos to you. Glory to you if you can do this. I did this for 53 years. I did this stuff. I admire you, whoever you are, if you ever do this stuff. And so he came up like this to justify his intelligent quotient to me. And I get to read these comments here where in interview itself, Kucan glorifies his daughter. He tells about who she is and so on. Meet me in front of the computer inside of our house with the police, sits with me, breaks down to me already before during the meetings, had me meet his daughter on 1,000,001 occasion, like I would not know who the fuck his daughter is. Glorifies her education and so on. I did not hesitate to go after her too. I just wanted him to feel that his entire family, how can I say, is a dunk. Just like this. These are the comments from 8 years ago. 6 years ago, Kucan let him open the archive about the killed Slovenians. He knows where they are buried. 3 years ago, Mandels, that's like almond, whatever it means. And then the other part that's supposed to pertain to me, obviously, and which psychiatrist Peter Kapsch was built on. Psychiatrist Peter Kapsch had this job of driving one insane constantly, ongoingly with the police, torture, psychiatric threats. Everything was built on a psychiatric threats, which they supported with real physical pain, injuries, endured through the psychiatric hospitalization, which started in 2012 and then was repeated again in 2015. And so here comes this part here, the police part. They get themselves trolls, whatever trolls they got, and then they started to post that stuff here. You get to read. 1 year ago, the guy says here, nicht neve. knows nothing, whatever. Kuchan is running away, Jansha is coming. This one is 8 months ago. But 1 year without any kind of a reason to even submit this kind of comment. It says here, this is the same guy, isn't it? DDA 0, 077. Yeah. He says, I think you are ripe for examination at the psychiatric hospital. The older, the crazier. And another one comes also 8 months ago. I think you are retarded, and that is drži kot pribito. It's like you hammer with a nail on the wall. And that is for sure, is what he is trying to say. So, you know, the police, the psychiatrist Peter Kapsch, look at that. They make sure they would remind me of why this meeting even took place. I don't know how Milan Kuchan is going to take this video to his heart, but he seems to me he's looking for the easing circumstances. Due to bestiality, due to lynching he committed against me, due to destroying me 53 years of life, due to genocide charges against him. Now the thing is, I do have the right to say whatever I stated. I won't be charged for any of that. Physical torture, poisoning, killing person, destroying person through the courts, through the mainstream media, with the use of police and psychiatry, that's not legal really. That's called a punitive psychiatry. And it casts a black shadow, black smoke on entire Slovenian nation. It's not about Milan Kuchan, it's about the Slovenian nation as whole. You see, I'm Slovenian too. This is wrong statement that I stated right now. I am Slovenian. Milan Kuchan is not Slovenian. Slovenian nation is not Slovenian, as the way they declare themselves on the map. They're not Slovenian. I don't recognize them as Slovenian. I am Slovenian. I was expulsed out of the country through the forced unemployment. When I was just 23 years old, I had to go to the US to find my way out. When I was 21 years old, I ran to Austria to survive. Younger than that, 20 years old. Younger than that, probably 19. Probably 19 I was. I filed for political asylum in a dozen countries across the Europe, also in Canada, and changed several addresses throughout the United States, through several states, to save myself from this. Slovenian nation did nothing but laugh about. They claim that I will run again from here, or I will be dead. They claimed I will have to go to Ukraine or be killed. Those are the words to me from psychiatrist Peter Kapsch, Novo Mesto police. I am Slovenian, but the nation is not. The nation exists on the paper and on the map. This case is not recognized. This case officially doesn't exist because Slovenian people, Slovenian nation as whole, came to terms that something like this can actually be done. That something like this actually must be done to protect their national identity, existence. These acts are acts of genocide, and they are in line foremost with the Joseph Stalin, the one Slovenian nation doesn't like to talk about, and whose student Adolf Hitler have used to exterminate Slovenian nation among other nations. Luckily for me, Milan Kuchan is glorifying loss of his father due to World War II. Luckily for me, My mother have lost her brother during the World War II. He was a partisan and he lost his life in a battle with the Germans. With entire family was listed in a national resistance during the World War II. Luckily for me, side of my grandfather, who was a secretary during the World War II, and have supplied partisans with the medication for entire Dolenska region. My father's family was already at the Kandia train station for a Birkenau Auschwitz extermination camp. Milan Kuchan knew about this. It was because of Milan Kuchan I no longer recognize myself inside of the mirror. I haven't seen myself as a human being. It was Slovenian nation, however, that gave that type of support for that degree of violence to Milan Kuchan. I am Slovenian. I can say my ancestors were here before any other Slovenian people were here in this country. I don't have any relatives from Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, Macedonia, or any other ex-Yugoslav country. I don't have any relatives from Germany, Austria, Italy, or Hungary. I was here before any Slovenian was in Slovenia. And I do not recognize Slovenian nation as a nation. Now you're going to take this. It's not going to be Milan Kuchan. It's you who will be responsible for the crimes against humanity which you collectively as a nation have done to me. So here you want to talk to me about my being retarded, and the only thing that is missing here, it doesn't say again, yeah, but the comment here, si zrel for you are ripe for examination at the psychiatric hospital. Everything is too bad. If it would be again, it would be so much easier for me to prove, but without even having any kind of response here that would demonstrate this type of dialogue with the two comments right at the top were necessary, I will use this as proof against Slovenian state as a form of driving one insane, gaslighting, and what you attempted to use as an extension for the genocide. So basically granting yourself more opportunities with the idea that you're gonna, drive me toward your desired results through Charles Manson recipe. Charles Manson was involved in this. And whenever he came here to Slovenia in this house, which he did beginning the 6th grade of the grammar school, is what I was told, you're not supposed to mention him. Told by Americans, by the British, by the Western people, you're not supposed to mention him, however. And I said, why not? Because if you mention him, this is the one who's going to get you in trouble. And they told me, you can mention this, but you cannot mention Charles Manson. There are certain people like this that you cannot mention. Yeah, really? Good luck to you. Good luck to you. And go and tell the people that this case does not exist, that this case never existed. Go and tell the people. This case never ever existed. You have a Joe Biden right there. Look at the message he got today from me. Look. Look, Slovenci, poglejte se. Vidite? Vidite, kje ste? Vidite, kako vi meni pomenite? Tisti, ki bo bežal iz Slovenije, boste bili vi, ne bom bil jaz. Jaz bom tukaj vstal. Jaz palce se več ne bojim. Palce je zdaj za vas. Tisti, ki bo šel iz Slovenije, boste bili vi. Vi tukaj niste doma. Vi niste tukaj. Nobeden od vas ni tukaj. Jaz sem se tukaj rodil. Vsi moji predniki so tukaj. Вас се па не спомням, јас се вас не спомням на бенга од вас да би бил тука. На бенга од вас се не спомням тука. Само себе се спомням. Вас се јас не спомням на бенга од тука. Like, see this? Slovener. See this here? Look at that. This. See this here? It's called MK Ultra Proofs, look. And I do it for free. I don't work at United Nations like Milan Kucan brags about. He works at United Nations about his daughter. I don't work. I don't have a university degree. My university degree was bitten out of my head with electroshocks, you did. With beatings, with lynching, with the violence you did. But it's one thing I have. I have my homeland, I know where I'm from, and I know who I am. And I know you don't belong here collectively as a nation. See this here? You're gonna fucking eat this. You are gonna eat this. It's not about Joe Biden. The same message I have for Donald Trump and for the British royals. This case will be resolved by the police. This case will be resolved by those whom you have demanded in the house of my parents for me to see, view as my enemies, by those whom you have used to enforce the genocide, the extermination procedure against me. This case will be resolved by those whom you demanded for me to see, even in Christmas tree, in car headlights and in car marker lights. This case will not be resolved by politicians. This case will be resolved by the police resolving the politicians. This here you go and you see this stuff here, you tell me MK Ultra never happened. We never happened, MK Ultra. We from Slovenia, we don't know nothing. We don't remember anything. Fuck you. Who cares about what you remember or what you don't remember? Who cares about you? You don't fucking exist. You are dirt, collectively as a nation. You are trash, you are scum, you are shit. You're gonna go from here, I will not go. I'm gonna refresh your fucking Slovenian brain. Doesn't have any content. There you go. So this is how psychiatrist Peter Kapsch was making his news. Yeah, they're making news together with the Google. They make news together with the Central Intelligence Agency, with the Federal Bureau Investigation. But I don't care about Federal Bureau Investigation. I don't care about no Federal Bureau Investigation. Federal Bureau Investigation, the so-called democracy of United States of America, entire world got a taste of what America is through this case. Entire world got to see what United States of America is for, what truly United States of America is about. Their way, their democracy, the way it's done. Entire world got to see this. With nobody who have done more for dictatorships, with nobody who have done more for oppression, for dictatorships, for killing, than Joe Biden. A Democrat, American Democrat Joe Biden. Nobody. just as described here. Nobody have done more than that. Nobody did more than Joe Biden. Nobody did more than Joe Biden. Look at that. This is not what American democracy is about. This is not what American democracy is about. But this is what happens when you have a group of politicians with what they insisted to me was a voters base, therefore dedicated to him criminals that did go to the distance for the sake of dollars and have created even bigger crime out of something that never ever should exist. That something that never ever should exist, however, started under the Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon. So therefore, a complete background about American democracy, which unfortunately for these politicians visibly is taking the whole world toward the edge, or I should say over the edge. If the people are not going to get up and ask way overdue questions, I'm not going to say in respect to this case only, but growing crime. It went from 9/11 to the California fire, and it's going to be more atrocious things that are coming your way if you are from the United States. And it's something that is spreading throughout the world like a disease, this disease of the so-called autocrats, as they call them. When they started to cover up one disaster for the human, what humans rate as a disaster with another disaster in another part of the world and so on. It's going to grow into complete oblivion, this whole picture. This guy here that posed talk about his father, about the World War II. I don't know if this is not ridiculing, making fun out of the World War II. I don't know what it is for that matter. I have no idea. What is this guy, closer to the Hitler? Or is he closer to ideals of the people who came to certain agreements, international treaties in respect to the World War II, so that one would not repeat? Whom is he closer to with the Joe Biden? Who is this guy closer to? His interpretation of democracy is something extremely violent. Doesn't have much to do with reality. With what Slovenia, a little nation, 2 million people, is what they refer themselves. They call themselves Slovenes, and there are 2 million people is what they claim they are. Being much closer to the neo-Nazi Germany than what they would want the world to see them as. By literally using this case to present themselves to the world through the same issues that Adolf Hitler and his mentor Joseph Stalin have used, as humane, as in fact prosperous for the future of the world, promising for the world, if the world would only follow their steps. I'm from Slovenia, but you are not. I have Slovenian citizenship. Because I have to have one. Because it's the people that moved in this country and simply demand from me to have this citizenship. I'm Slovenian, I'm from Slovenia, but you are not. Look, see this here? You are from Psychiatric Hospital Ljubljana Polje. You are from Novo Mesto Police Department. You are from Slovenian Parliament. Your name is Natasha Pirc Musar. Your name is Kuchan. Your name is Borut Pahor. Tanya Fayon. Falot. That's what you are. That's how you want to do it. We can do this at any time of the day, anytime you want. And out of all this, who do you have now left? Because it never was about me. I was always told, oh, it's everything is for you. During the torture, they told me, they like to use this phrase, everything for you, everything for you, ho, 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 everything for you. Presenting British and Americans as the side that worries for me. You never worried about me. You fuckers worried about yourself. Protecting your own self. Yourself. And you even did so that Slovenian side would figure out they have nothing to fear about. Slovenian side was the one that came to resolution. If they can do it, we can do it too. It wasn't vice versa anymore. They didn't mind to point finger at the American side, and this is the way it was. Make no mistake about it. Where I also became a citizen in 2000. Just so that Americans could take more advantage of this case, cause me more harm, more damage, laugh in my face. You wasted so much time in America and now you have to go back to Slovenia. Something that Americans have used since my arrival to the United States with hope to cause as much as psychological pain as possible. Disgusting, isn't it? You go to work so you earn at least for Social Security, you build future, you buy yourself something, home, car, etc., etc. Now, Americans had a different idea of democracy, was different. Their idea of democracy was pay nothing, use job to torture, through the forced unemployment, also steal all the money that is saved, and then kick you in the ass out of America by basically demonstrating you what I was promised is going to be the case. It's basically when you get older and you kicked out of the country like this, in this kind of system, back into the system where you came from, as they said. They always presented me Slovenia as a place where they wanted to lynch me. And they were not wrong about it. They were not wrong about it. But today, who does America have? Who does Slovenia have? Who does British royals? King Charles and Prince Andrew and all these charlatans they have from London. Who do you have now? You're gonna convince me about. What are you going to convince me now? Who is trying to do what to me now? Who are you now? Listed in my book. How are you going to convince me that I have to run from my country, from my homeland, again in your hands, so you can do more damage, more harm? Whom are you going to use? The Slovenian side doesn't have nothing. They now see you in their mirrors. They now hope nothing will come out because I'm in war with everybody. But now the world can see who you really are from all the sides. You in Britain, you in America, you in Slovenia. Who are you going to talk to about the World War II? Nobody made more propaganda for the neo-Nazis, for the Hitler, than Milan Kučan did with his conduct. Tiny little Slovenia. They did not even dare to take oil and gas from the Russians. So the trace between the West, Russia and Serbia could not be seen through Slovenia. It wasn't for me. Everything was for the Serbia. As far as my case, as far as my life was dedicated, everything was dedicated for the greater Serbia. This is what was dedicated to. That's all I existed. I existed to serve Serbian appetites, Serbian ethnic cleansing. Yet I am here. I continue to be here. I was here before any Slovenian was here. I was here before this so-called Slovenes arrived here. I am Slovenian, I'm native, I'm from here. But they are not. They never were here. I don't know any of them. They think that this is their country, but this is not their country. They don't exist, but they enforce genocide based on what they claim are laws. Because they have the words, they have letters, they have written in letters, on books and pages. They claim it exists. They claim they do everything by the law, is what they do. In other words, they don't recognize MK Ultra, they don't recognize torture, they don't recognize killing, assassinations. They claim MK Ultra never ever existed in this place. In this case, they claim that my case as an MK Ultra case never ever existed. That's what they firmly claim in 2025. Now it's 2025. I was born in 1971. And this here, this is my blog. Right here. It's called Außer Times. Look. That's what they claim. Ethnic cleansing against the Slovenian nation is not ethnic cleansing. This is no ethnic cleansing. The ethnic cleansing against Slovenian people, against the Slovenian nation collectively, it's not ethnic cleansing. I am Slovenian. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what they're doing here, but ethnic cleansing against Slovenian people is not ethnic cleansing. I am Slovenian. I am Slovenian. I'm ethnic Slovenian. I am from here. I am from here, from Slovenia. I was born here. My father, my mother, everybody, grandmother, everybody's from here. I am from here. But I don't know who these people are. I don't know who these people are. Yeah, you can call me crazy. You can call me insane. You can say that I'm ready for psychiatric hospital. Sure. That's not a problem. But I don't know who you are. Who are you? In 2012, you claimed that I didn't know where I was when you came at home. And you took me from the home. After 4 years of MK Ultra bestiality you performed on me. You came to pick me up based on domestic violence lies against me, which you arranged through the family and through the neighbors involved in your so-called MK Ultra. I'm not going to protest against the Milan Kucan. There was people who believe that I'm going to turn against Milan Kucan and have a war with the Milan Kucan. No, I will not do this. I'm not going to go in war with Milan Kucan. Milan Kucan claims he's a Slovenian. He claims that he is from Slovenia, that he is a Slovenian native. That's what he's saying. Well, he says that he is a Slovenian native. Then I am not Slovenian native. And I know I am Slovenian native. I was born here in this country, in Slovenia. So in that case, we have a problem because Slovenian people supported him. They gave him all the support. For 53 years, they gave him a support for extermination. Then I don't know who you are. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what they're doing here, other than causing damage, harm, devastation. They are at a psychiatric hospital and they're at a police station. And they can barely wait to cause more harm, more damage. There you have it. That's your MK Ultra. You like it? You're gonna eat it. I told you, Milan Kuchan, I told you that you're not brilliant mind. I told you that you have a severe mental deficiencies. I told you that you suffer from very, very severe mental deficiencies, and I told everybody that who was involved that your entire family is something very, very wrong with them. That something is terribly wrong with you. The only argument you ever had was violence. People like this, they are not very intelligent because they obviously sold themselves to the violence. Slovenian nation, this tiny little nation of 2 million people, is just as small as you are. We are small, I don't know, meter 60 or something like this. But as a swines, as a human swines, they are just as big as you. I think you always were the best, however, president of Slovenia, because you presented truly what Slovenian nation was. Majhen človek, velka svinja. Velka svinja. Majhen človek, velka svinja. Majhen narod, velka svinja. Prašač. But those of you that wait for me to depart from here, you're fucking crazy. You're wasting your time. That's never ever gonna happen. Before I will depart from here, none of you is gonna be here. Learn about this. Be intelligent. Get used to seeing me.